All right, so going to be doing a comic review for my from my good friend Chris. Chris, thank you as always. Um, uh, so yeah, the comic we're going to talk about is Shazam: Moving Day. This is volume 2 of the Mark Waid run, which ends at issue 9, and from 10, 11, 12, and onward for the series. It becomes Josie Campbell's series. Josie Campbell has written for DC Comics, but is more specifically one of the head writers for My Adventures with Superman. Um, yeah. So we're going to talk about this series, and I know it's been like over a year since I did Volume 1, but yeah. So this comic, basically, I got to talk about, before we go any further, I have to talk about, like, all the stuff that came out for this comic, because there was a lot. Basically, in the first volume, Shazam, the Wizard had been overthrown and separated because the beings that make up the power of Shazam, like Zeus, Solomon, all of that, they basically want their powers back and are manipulating the Captain as their avatar. That's what Billy calls the Captain, rather than just saying Shazam and turning into him. It was a whole crazy experience involving space dinosaurs that involved paperwork and alien schemes. It was crazy. It was fun. And the fun continues here with the end of Mark Waid's run and the start of Josie Campbell's run, which is a little more emotionally heavy. So I'm going to try to go through all of this and kind of talk about like what to do, like what the comic is. So let's start with the Mark Waid half. It's basically the end of his run, which is the final 2 parts, and then we have a one and done story in issue 9. The final 2 parts actually involve Black Adam, just coming out of, like, basically he sees the aliens in Kondak space, and he's just like, get the fuck out. And they're like, we're space dinosaurs who like paperwork. Read our paperwork. And Black Adam's like, no, fuck your paperwork. Punch. And it goes bananas from there. I feel like Mark Waid wanted to have Black Adam in the comic, but he also was like, didn't know where to put him. So it was kind of interesting to have him here for one bit, and he actually does help Billy in the end. The one and done story that Mark Waid does before he leaves is a fun team up between Shazam and the Creeper, which Mark Waid has like it's very clear, and I've said this before, that Mark Waid has a real affinity for DC Universe. And for the DC Universe more than Marvel. You can see it in his writing that he clearly enjoys writing the DC Universe more than he ever has with the Marvel Universe. Not to say he doesn't like writing for Marvel, but it's very clear he's a little biased. So in this story, it's really nothing big other than Jack Ryder basically being Charlie Kirk and trying to upset Billy on his show, and then the two of them team up to take on Shadow Thief. And that's the story. The second half of this, which is 10, 11, 12, is the start of the Josie Campbell run. So Josie Campbell's run begins with the family moving into a new house, and they're basically basically met with a new member, someone from Child Protective Services, and she's just kind of reviewing everything. But it turns out that the house is actually, oopsie-daisy, Zeus was asked to rebuild the house, and he basically built it with gateways to other magical realms, including Olympus. So it's kooky fun time of trying to stop all the monsters from coming through. But there's an underlying current of something else going on throughout the comic, of that the Captain and Billy are two separate beings, and essentially what's going on is that Billy and the Captain is trying to protect Billy from something big and emotional. That being the return of his mother, who is like, oh, I want you back in my life. I want to do this and that. And yeah, Billy is now essentially, now that the Wizard has bequeathed the Rock of Eternity to the bearer of Shazam, which is Billy, it's connected directly to his emotions. So seeing his mother doing better and not being a good person without him kind of fucks him up, and it ends on a cliffhanger. The comic, for lack of a better word, is good. I think the comic, for the lack of a better word, is a is a pretty solid story, and I'm very excited to see where I'm very interested to see where we go in Volume 3. But yeah, I was kind of shocked that like halfway through, after 9 issues, Mark Waid just kind of cut things off. I do get it though. I do understand why Waid wanted to leave when he did, because he basically was writing a lot. He was writing an event. He was writing Superman, Batman. He was going to start writing Justice League Unlimited. I feel like he was like, I feel like I should have just done this as like an 8-issue, this Shazam series as an 8-issue miniseries, and then it became an ongoing. And you clearly get that feeling after finishing the first 2 parts of his run before the Creeper team up. You really do get that feeling of, I don't think you wanted to do this, Mark. I don't feel like you wanted to make this an ongoing, Mark, but the sales were so good that DC was like, hey, Mark, you want to make this an ongoing? And he's like, yeah, totally. I can do that with all the other 5 books I'm writing. So, yeah, that became a whole thing. I am curious to see where Josie Campbell's going to go in terms of where she's going to go, because it's very clear Campbell is interested in talking about the rest of the Marvel family. We get more of Mary Marvel in this comic. We also get more of little references to other Shazam villains. I'm really hoping we get Mr. Mind. I'm always excited when Mr. Mind shows up in comics, because I feel like he is a very underrated villain. I feel like he's incredibly underrated, and Mr. Mind is always fun when he shows up. I really hope we get more with the Josie. Like, my hopes, and I don't know if Volume 3 is already out or not, but my genuine hopes is that we get more of, like, not just Black Adam and Mr. Mind and Dr. Sivana. I hope Campbell really, like, shows love to, like, the other villains in his Rogues Gallery, like Ibak or Mr. Atom or what's his name? Why am I? See, that's what I'm talking about. Is that I feel like the Shazam villains really do need a lot more love. So I'm curious to see where this is going to go. But yeah, I feel like there's a part of me that's just like, maybe I feel like you wanted to stop, Mark, but you just didn't know how. And that's when Josie Campbell was like Mark looked at Josie, went, Tag, you're it. You're right. You want to write Shazam? And they're like, I'm doing my adventures with You're doing Shazam. Okay. Anyway, so yeah, it's still fun. I'm as a Shazam fan, I do recommend this series. But yeah, Chris, as always, thank you as always for this book and for others. And yeah, you guys tell me in the comments below if you've read this volume. Comment below, let me know what you guys thought of it. Other than that, I'm Mr. Multiverse. I'll see you next time in the Multiverse.